Hey there, this is Jessica Hart with Heart to Heart Public Relations. We are on location at the resident Dion Lee Earl. He's the alleged perpetrator for a sexual assault. So we are about to tune in to the press conference for the family of the victim, and also the attorney, Ben Taylor from Taylor and Gomez Law, will be heading up the press conference. Thanks for joining us today.
In like the next minute or so. 30 seconds. Yeah. Back 2, yeah, it's up. Okay, thanks.
Back up the small.
We're ready if everyone else is.
Ready? Yep. Good afternoon. I am attorney Benjamin Taylor, B-E-N-J-A-M-I-N, Taylor, T-A-Y-L-O-R. And I represent the family of the 18-year-old teenage victim. And today we have with us Mr. O.D. and Miss Elizabeth, who will be speaking shortly. As the attorney, I want to outline some of the facts in this case. This is a very sad situation. We're dealing with Mr. Dion Earl, who was a sexual predator, a man who has harassed women throughout the years. The first women he harassed was in Seattle. He was the owner of a soccer team and a professional soccer player. And there was a suit against him for sexually assaulting women in Seattle. Unfortunately, nothing happened to him in regards to a criminal process. But we're here to seek justice today to make sure that the prosecutor of Maricopa County Attorney's Office prosecutes him to the fullest. Right now he's being held non-bondable, and that's where he should remain, in jail, being held non-bondable and go to prison. This is what this guy does, Dion Earl. The house behind us, what he does is he has a babysitting. He has people babysit for him. And he uses his very own kids as a pawn to have babysitters. And in this case right here, my client and their daughter, who's 18 years old, a teenager, he had her come over to his house to babysit. And while babysitting, he had to go back in the back room. And then what did he do? He assaulted her. He sexually assaulted her. And that's terrible. He's been doing this for a long time. Just Google his name, Dion Earl. And we wish that the county attorney's office will go after this guy. We'll prosecute him to the fullest. We thank everybody for coming today. And we look forward for justice in this case by having him go to prison where he belongs. Thank you.
Benjamin, what about tomorrow's hearing? What are you hoping for tomorrow? The possibility he's going to get a bond placed on him.
Hopefully not. Tomorrow morning, Dion Earl has a court hearing at the Superior Court downtown at 8:30. We're asking the judge to keep him non-bondable. Right now, he's non-bondable. He's a sexual offender. These are two victims in this case. Not just my client, but another young woman who he lured to his house to say, hey, can you babysit my kids? But then he attacks them. And this is a sexual predator that needs to have a no bond, and we're hoping that the prosecutor and Bill Montgomery go after him tremendously and make sure that he goes to prison.
You talked about the accusations up in the Seattle area. Are you concerned that this case might turn out like those and they won't go forward with the charges?
And that's why we're here, to let the public, let Arizona, let the whole world know. That's why the family's here. We have friends here. Even the victim's grandmother is here, to make sure that he gets prosecuted to the fullest. Right now, he's being charged with sexual assault and kidnapping. Kidnapping because he held her down. He held a teenager down, the teenage babysitter. So we're hoping and we're praying that the county attorney's office prosecute them for it. We think Mesa PD, because in Seattle, as far as we know, they didn't prosecute him in Washington, but at least the Mesa PD, they did an investigation, and they at least arrested him, and we thank the Mesa PD for that. However, we want them to finish their job by keep on investigating Dion Earl. I'm sure these are not the only 2 victims in Arizona. If anybody else knows or have been assaulted by Mr. Dion Earl, please contact us, contact the news, because we want this man to pretty much die in prison. We want him to die in prison because that's what he deserves. He got away with sexually assaulting and pretty much raping women in Seattle, Washington, but this is not going to happen here, not on our watch. Not on our watch. We hope that the prosecutor doesn't get an easy plea. We don't want any easy pleas. We want this man to pretty much do his time and die in prison. And now I'm going to introduce Mr. O.D. Harris, who is the father of the 18-year-old victim in this case, which Dion Earl lured to his house to sexually assault. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for being here. Before I speak, I definitely would like to have Brother Kenny here. He's from 10,000 Fearless. He's the chairman. I would like to have a few words.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say that we are very saddened to even be here on such a sad occasion, dealing with a sexual predator on one of the members of our community involving sexual assault. This is something that we cannot tolerate, we cannot have to continue to happen in our community. So as the attorney for the victim has stated, we definitely would like to see a no bond on this individual, and so that he can do his time in jail where he belongs and get him off the streets so that this doesn't happen again to another unfortunate little girl. My name is Kenny Muhammad, that's KENNYMUHAMMAD, from the Phoenix 10,000 Fearless here in Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you very much.
And lastly, I would like to introduce Khalid. He's student minister for the Nation of Islam.
Greetings. On behalf of the local representative here in Phoenix of the Nation of Islam, Student Minister Charles Muhammad. I am Student Minister Khalil Muhammad, that's spelled KHALLILMUHAMMAD. We stand in support of the family of the young girl that this atrocity happened with. I represent the Nation of Islam and the 10,000 Fearless. Thank you.
My name is O.D. Harris, it's just O.D. and last name is Harris. And it's been very hard for me. I've had a lot of long nights. Words cannot even go beyond how I feel right now. It just lets me know how cruel people can really be in life. And for this to happen and for this man to be let go, shame on Seattle, Washington, for not doing something and stopping him in advance. Now my daughter is a victim, along with 30 other victims that this man has assaulted, and more to come. It's been a lot of work. A lot of the victims have came forward, and it's been hard listening to their stories of what this man did to them. And then for my daughter to go through this, she didn't deserve this. She didn't deserve this. She's been a remarkable student. She's graduated with honors. She has always done the right thing. She's always made good decisions. A young athletic woman looking to make a new start at ASU. Then this man does this to her. This is what happens when accusations are not followed up. This is what happens when we don't take the seriousness of crimes, and when victims go and report and say that this is happening. This has to stop. We have to properly investigate each complaint, not leaving it for chance. As a person as a father, I'm totally upset. This man has changed our family. He has changed our lives. He has hurt a lot of people in his path. and the 30 victims that I know many of are watching right now from Seattle, because this man is a West Coast sexual predator like no other. And if there was any word to describe this man, is scum. He's a sleazeball. And he's done nothing but prey on women, young, innocent, green women, and inexperienced women, to further his agenda by lowering these victims into rooms, lowering these victims into places where no one can actually give an account. But today we stand. My background is NAACP. I'm the Economic Development Chair, 100 Black men. So we come from a very serious, in the Nation of Islam, they have been standing strong. 10,000 Fearless have been standing strong. The NAACP has been standing strong and is very much interested in this case. And as a father, I will do everything I can within my power to keep him locked up. And we will, with the help of the Nation of Islam, with the help of the NAACP, and with the help of many of you all, of the media that's here. We need your support. We need you to cover. We need you to continue on. Tomorrow's his arraignment. I'm mad. I am mad. And if nothing's done, we got to do something. So moving forward, there's going to be different initiatives that we will be trying to push in the name of our daughter to help to change the outcome, and bills that we will introduce to the public, so that way we can make sure that this doesn't happen to another victim, that a man like this does not move into another community to prey on young women. I am ready to get justice. Justice or no peace. Justice or no peace.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm Elizabeth Ward. I am the victim's mother. I just want to say, this incident has changed my daughter's life. This has changed my family's life. She's a freshman. She just graduated high school. No child should go through anything like this. They're supposed to be doing fun things with their friends, not fighting in court case and getting sexually assaulted by a predator. Shame on Seattle that they allowed this man of 20 years to damage another child. When will they take assault victims and rape cases seriously? And when it's considered to me the silent crime that goes unheard of, where we have to prove our innocence, where these young ladies are coming forward to make reports, and nobody seems to ignore them, ignoring what these girls are saying. My daughter's life will never be the same. And I want to just, on the record, make it clear, the assailant, Dion Earl, the predator of the West Coast, he stated that the women are the aggressor. My daughter can have 1,000 people represent and justify her character. My daughter is a virgin. There's not a man in the world or in this state can say she came on to them, she was aggressive to them. This has changed her life forever. There's nobody can say that about her. She's a virgin. I'm not sure if he was aware of that. There's no way that my daughter was the aggressor in this, or any of the other young ladies. So let the be record clear that is not true. That is a lie. So 30 women threw themselves on Dion Earl? I don't think so. We as a community, as parents, and as mothers and fathers need to take a stand. It is not the victims to be ashamed of what happened. The only person that should be ashamed right now is Dion Earl. He is the predator. He is the criminal. And he's the one that should be ashamed. There is more victims out there. I know it is. I want you to come forward. Is anybody ever babysitted for Dion Earl and this family? Please come forward. Talk to your girls. Talk to your daughters. Because she could have been your aunt. It could have been your sister. It could have been your daughter that this could have happened to. We have to do something. We have to take a stand. This should not go unspoken for, unheard of. Thank God she wasn't raped. That's all we have to hold on to. But he took a little bit of innocence away from her because he pinned her down and kept her trapped in the room where she couldn't get out. And for me as a parent, so as a mother, I'm asking everyone, including men, you guys need to take a stand. You guys need to talk to your daughters and talk to people and sit down and think about, this could have been you. He's been around for a long time, you guys, doing it for 20 years. Somebody has to come forward and say something. And I hope I will like to thank Detective Russo. He did do a very good job in getting him arrested less than 48 hours. But shame on Seattle and the prosecutors that have let us down. I'm hoping that Arizona, you guys stand and say something and keep this man locked up. He is not bondable. Keep him where he's at. And for all his friends, his family, his mother, Miss Laurel, his wife, or whoever she is, I believe everyone knows what a predator that he is, and you guys keep hiding it and defending this creep, writing letters to the judges in Seattle and allowing him to continue to walk free. You have 2 daughters and a son to protect, Laurel. That's his wife. Protect them and stand with us against your husband and make a stop to this.
How is your daughter doing?
Concern of all, she's doing as okay as we would expect her to be. She's living, she's trying to get on with her life, which would not, because it's going to drag on the court for quite some time, I'm assuming. I'm hoping that he'll plead, because with all the evidence and the people that's coming forward and the evidence that we have, I would hope that he's not, but he's a narcissist, so I would not be surprised if he goes to trial. And I don't see how 12 jurors could say not guilty to this man. The creeps are not just always in hoodies and sunglasses or on bikes.
Right.
The criminals are in your backyard. They're your coaches. They're your teachers.
That's right.
They're everybody. My life and my motivation is to make sure this man stay behind bars and get the justice for my daughter and all the other women that's going on with this case. She's the missing piece because she came forward, and I'm so proud of her. Because how many women have he attacked that's not coming forward and not saying anything? Because they're scared their voice won't be heard. Well, hers going to be heard because Dion Earl messed with the wrong family and the wrong daughter.
Amen.
And I'm not going to stand. I'm going to fight with all I have to make sure there is justice for my daughter. We're working on a bill to be passed in honor of her name, because not only should we be doing background checks on the babysitters, we need to be doing background checks on the people they're going in the house of, the parents.
That's right.
These victims and these babies, we're all babies, we're all young ladies, we've all been a young girl who babysitted. They're walking into danger, and we need to protect them.
Was your daughter the one that was hired off the reputable website?
No, my daughter was a referral from a friend of hers from high school, who was hired from the babysitting site that she's known many years, and we had no way of thinking that we had anything to worry about because she was babysitting for Dion, and she also, we'll call him the predator. I'm not going to even give him the publicity of calling his name. The predator found her friend on the babysitting site, and she couldn't babysit a particular night, and she called my daughter because she's loved kids, CPR certified, very well respected in the community amongst her peers and friends and teachers, and she went and babysitted. And that's how she got her job, because it was a referral. We're thinking it's okay because the young lady was already babysitting and also working on his website.
And that young lady had never had an issue with him?
She says she's never had an issue with him.
Did your daughter tell you the night that it happened?
She didn't tell me the night that it happened. She waited a couple of days. Because she did tell friends, though. Because she was embarrassed and ashamed. Because there's always rape victims or assault victims, they go unheard. Because no one believes them. As the first lady, she filed her charges back in September. And when my daughter came out, then hers came out. Then it helped, my daughter was the missing link that's helping everybody else. She's helping the women. All the women in Seattle have reached out to us, and they said whatever they can do to support her and support this cause, they're willing to do it.
As parents, what should think we should support you?
It was heartbreaking. It was devastating. Because my daughter, she wears a purity ring that she wanted for herself on her 15th birthday that I gave her, because she wanted to save her virginity for her husband. And this is something that she came to me and wanted. And she wears that ring with pride. And one of the things she said, Mom, at least I wasn't raped. At least I wasn't raped. So she did what she had to do to get out the situation, because her focus was not to get raped. Because she thought she was going to get raped. And that was his arterial mole, because he had raped before and gotten away with it.
And I mean, I mean, not to get too graphic, but there's accusations where the predator Dion has ejaculated on women when he's like with babysitters and taken out, you know, to pull down his pants, and that's very uncalled for. He's a sick man, and that's why we're here today, to expose him so that the world will know exactly where he lives and know that you have a sexual predator who is luring your daughters into his house, pretending to be a babysitter, and then attacking them. So we just want him to have justice, and justice in this case is by having him go to prison.
It's my mother. She like to say a couple things.
I just say, I want justice. And I have a beautiful, wonderful granddaughter. And I thank God for her. But I think it's a sin to let people like that to go away like that.
That's right.
And then always the good people and the devil is always bad.
Yes, ma'am.
All you have to do is trust God. And you wouldn't have the evil in your life.
That's right.
I pray for him. I don't hate him. I pray for him because his soul is going to hell.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
This is my mother, Johnny Ward. Johnnnie Ward. W-A-R-D.
And I'm not going to tell you how old I am.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you. Hope
Thank you for coming out, everyone that was listening. Thanks for your support, and feel free to contact Taylor and Gomez Law for any updates on this case and to see how you can help. Thanks. This is Jessica Hart signing off.